Morning again. Lovely to see you all. So today I want to talk about an interesting subject. It's all about creating an enjoyable life, a worthwhile life, a compelling life, a life that empowers you, a life that, when you get to the end of it, you feel satisfied that you have lived, I guess we would call it a good life. And there are many, 5 different pieces that make up the great life puzzle. And I got this from one of my early mentors, a wonderful man called Jim Rowan. Jim Rowan, who sadly passed away a few years ago, had a great influence in my early life and taught me many, many things. So I never met the man physically, but I bought all of his books. Back in those days, it was cassette tapes and then CDs. I bought everything he ever did. I used to listen to him in my bedroom, and when I was feeling down, I would listen to Jim. And he had an amazing impact on my life. So let's talk about the 5 major pieces to the life puzzle. Before I do that, there's some interesting mathematics that I'd like to run by you. When I coach people, and I do one-to-one coaching, and I talk to them about what do they want to achieve in their life, when would they like to retire, and so on, I always give them a figure, which quite often shocks them. So let's just pretend you want to retire at age 65 and you are 35. It works for everything. So you have 30 years to go. Let's just say. I would say to the person, so you have 360 paydays to prepare for the rest of your life. Think about it. 360 paydays to prepare for the rest of your life. That is 360 months, which is not a lot. If you have 40 years to go, it's only 480. If you have 10 years to go, it's only 120. So these are the sort of figures that make you look deeply inside and think, where am I going with my life? What am I doing with my life? Am I achieving what I really, really want to achieve with my life? Or am I wasting time? So let's look at the 5 major pieces to the life puzzle. So we're going to talk about the 5 areas that will help to shape your personal success and your personal fulfillment. Okay. First of all, let's look at them in an overview. The 5 key areas are your philosophy, and we'll talk about what does that mean, your attitude, your activity, the results, and your lifestyle. These are the 5 key areas in everyone's life. Okay. How do we think? How do we live? So I would invite all of you to consider, what does success mean to you? So all of you here today, what does success mean to you as an individual? If you were at the end of your life and you were looking back, what would have had to have happened for you to think, yes, I have had an extremely successful and fulfilling life? Okay, philosophy. Number 1. What is philosophy? Well, philosophy is based on your beliefs. What are your beliefs? Your beliefs are very simply the knowledge you have. Your beliefs are based on the knowledge that you have, nothing else. So you need to ask yourself, what are your beliefs? And therefore, what is your philosophy? Because your philosophy is your compass. If you've ever done map reading, and Colin here has done an awful lot in his younger days, if you've ever done map reading, you have a compass that points you in the direction you need to go. Your philosophy is your compass. When you change your thinking, you change your philosophy and you change your direction. Here's a question for you. Looking at your own life over the years, what is one belief that you have had to change in order to help you to grow? So what is one belief that you have had and then you had to change it in order to move forward? You know, people don't always believe that they can choose their beliefs, but you can. So let's look at this. Your success begins with, and I'm using the word, a sound personal philosophy. What does sound mean? Based on reality. So you need to look at, what are your beliefs? Where do they come from? Another question, who do they come from? Where did you get your beliefs? I mentioned earlier, it's interesting, if you look at politics, most children, when they grow up in a family, no matter what country it's in, they usually vote the same way their parents did. Whether you're right wing, left wing, liberal, Democrat, none of that matters. They vote the way their parents did. Why? Because they got influenced by their parents as they were growing up. Very few people then step back and look at it analytically and think, is this really the way I want to vote? Is this really the most empowering thing for me? People just do what they have been conditioned to do. So you need to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what have I been conditioned to do over my life? And is that good for me? And also another question, is it based on truth? Is it based on fact? Many beliefs are not based on truth at all. They're not based on fact. They're made up by someone who then tells someone else, they tell you, and you believe it. When anyone ever asks me something or tells me something, a friend will say, oh, Gerard, have you heard about this? And they'll tell me something. I say, hold on, how do you know? How do you know that that is the truth? And if they say, oh, my friend told me, I say, whoa, how does he know? So much in life that we base our life on is actually based on fiction. So you need to ask yourself the question, what do you believe? Where did your beliefs come from? And do they empower you? Okay. Thing won't move. Next, we move on to attitude. We express our philosophy. So whatever our philosophy is, that creates our beliefs, and we express that in our life through our attitude. Our attitude shapes how we respond to circumstances. And I'm sure you've all heard the sentence, you should respond instead of react. Right? We've all heard that, but it's not easy to do. Most people react to a circumstance instead of quietly stepping back and making a conscious decision how to respond. So whenever something happens to you or me, we should pause and we should ask ourselves, how should I respond to this? A positive attitude, a proactive attitude, opens the door to opportunity. A closed attitude leads to failure. So you've all heard, I'm sure you've heard the saying, attitude determines altitude. How high you fly in life will be determined by the attitude that you have. And the attitude comes from your beliefs. So we need to cultivate within us a positive attitude. Now, I know that's not always easy, especially if you're going through a tough time in life. Money is tough, health problems, relationship problems. It's not easy to just be happy and smiling all the time. But the ways we can do it are this. We take a tiny bit of time, and I just mean a tiny bit of time, literally 1 minute, 2 minutes a day, and we focus on what are we grateful for? What do you have that many people don't have? You have your health, you're able to walk, you're able to talk, you have your language, you have your energy. So focus on showing gratitude for one or two very simple things you have in life. Look at what can you be optimistic about, and take responsibility. The right attitude helps to transform problems into growth. Okay? You know, when it comes to attitude, again, culture is interesting. Society is interesting. An awful lot of people in society, they know their rights. They know what they're entitled to. But very few people know their responsibilities. And it is successful people who focus on their responsibilities, and unsuccessful people focus on their rights. Oh, the government need to pay me this. The government need to do this. They need to support me. Instead of saying, actually, this is my responsibility. I need to take charge of my life. Very few people do that. But then very few people succeed. How many people actually build a successful, healthy, fulfilling, financially rewarding, enjoyable life? How many? Well, there are studies, and they show about 5%. Interesting, those of you here in the Alpha group might have heard me say, the Alpha type personalities form 5% of the world's population, 1 in every 20. Is there a correlation there? I don't know. I'm not too sure. But the two figures are very interesting. Who creates a successful life? 5%. How many are Alpha? 5%. Now, do all Alpha create a successful life? No, not at all. But I just found those two figures quite interesting. So now we come to activity. Your attitude will determine your activity. And this is where things get very, very interesting. When you have a goal, have any of you here got a goal that you've been putting off taking action to? Taking action to achieve. Do any of you have any one particular goal in life that you've just been putting it off? This is quite normal. There's a saying I learned years ago. Success. Easy to do, easy not to do. Easy to do, easy not to do. You know, is it easy to have that alcoholic drink at night when you're feeling tired and down and you just want to relax? Of course it is. Is it easy not to? Of course it is. You know, when you're feeling hungry and you're walking downtown and you turn into McDonald's and you have a Big Mac. Question for you. Are Big Macs healthy? Answer, no, they're not. If you have a Big Mac, if you eat a Big Mac at McDonald's, will you instantly have a heart attack and die? No, it doesn't work that way. But if you repeat that process on a daily basis and you compound it over the days, weeks, and months of your life, it will take you out of this life. So is it easy to have a Big Mac if you're hungry? Yes, it is. Is it easy to make a different decision? Yes, it is. If you have one cigarette, will you instantly get lung cancer and die? Of course not. But if you repeat that on a daily basis, and you compound it over the days, weeks, and months of your life, it will take you out of this life. So is it easy to have a cigarette if you want one? Yes, it is. Well, I don't know. I've never smoked. But is it easy not to? Yes, it is. Believe it or believe it not. The point I'm trying to make is success is easy. Easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. Success is not about winning the Olympics and winning a gold medal and being the number one person in a team, in a company, in your community, the best in the world at a sport. No. Success is making incremental achievements, just little changes in different areas of your life, little things that you can do that really don't cause much pain. They just take a little bit of self-discipline. So I've written here on the slide, consistency, discipline, and perseverance. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be an Olympic athlete. You just make tiny little changes heading in the right direction. You know, it's like planting a seed. You don't plant a seed today and you have an instant tree or plant tomorrow. It takes time for that to grow, to nurture. So commit to consistency in the little things. The power of consistent effort. To make a habit or to break a habit takes 21 consecutive days. Now, the key word here is consecutive. So if you do something for 18 days, every day, bang, 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 and then you miss one day, the next day is not number 19. The next day is number 1, numero uno. You start at the beginning again. Now, that can be a bit depressing, but it's also good to know. So to make a habit or to break a habit is 21 consecutive days. You can do anything for 21 days, guys and girls. You can do that. It's easy. And if it comes to your diet, what you eat or what you don't eat, your exercise, what you do, what you don't do, missing half an hour of television and going for a walk in the evening, little things like that make an enormous difference over time. Small steps every single day will compound into massive success. Then we come to results. Again, you don't need to suddenly get massive results in your life to show that it's going in the right direction. There's a phrase, measurable progress in reasonable time. Measurable progress in reasonable time. So you don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to set world records. You don't have to get Olympic gold medals. You just make tiny little changes and you measure it over a period of time. And results are your feedback. Every time you do something, you should take a moment to look at it. Take a moment to think. Take a moment to analyze. How did that go? Was that what I wanted? Was it not what I wanted? And if it went well, what led to it getting well? If it didn't go well, that's fine. What led to it not going well? So results are your feedback system, and they tell you where you are on track. every time you do something and it goes quite well, you should celebrate it. Celebrate it. Be happy, be grateful for yourself. And when things don't go well, and that happens a lot, on the journey to success, there's just as much failure as success. In fact, there's more. It's about it's about 80-20. There's that number again, 80-20. So you'll have 80% of failures, you'll have 20% of successes. So don't be shocked when things don't go well. Don't be upset. Don't be worried. Don't be down. Don't be depressed. It's a step on the road. When you're trying something, 80-20. 80% won't go the way you want, 20% will. That's fine. And every outcome is a lesson. And finally, we come to your lifestyle, our lifestyle, which is the ultimate reward. Success is not just about achieving a pot of gold at the end. Success is all about who you become on the journey. It's about how the journey changes you. It's about what you learn on the way. The lessons you learn are actually one of the greatest gifts in life. So yes, getting to the ultimate goal is nice, but what is much nicer is the journey, who you become, what you learn, and how you change. How you change on the way, you know? So what I would like all of you to do is, I'm going to go back up the slides in a minute and ask you to pick one, but lifestyle is about living with purpose. So you are in the driver's seat, you are in charge. You need to choose your relationships. What relationships bring joy to your life? Choose those. Choose to spend time with people who excite you, energize you, empower you. Spend time with those people. It's time well spent. Living with purpose. Choose experiences. And I think the most important one is the word value. I should have put value in big letters in red with arrows pointing to it. Choose your values. Don't just inherit the values of the people around you. Look at how their lives are going. Choose your own values. So begin today. Look at your philosophy. Take steps to shape your own attitude. Take actions with real intent. Learn from the results and design your own best life. Again, a quote here from Jim Rowan. The greatest value in life is not what you get. The greatest value is what you become on the journey. So I'm just going to quickly whiz back up to the top. Oh. And I want you to look at these 5 and just pick one that you will make some changes in. One of these 5 areas, just look at them, pick one yourself. What one could you, over the next week, over the next 21 days, make some tiny little changes in that would start to create a ripple effect in your own life? You know, you've already done it. The fact that you are here today, let me stop the share. The fact that you are here today speaks volumes. There are 34 of us here in the room. We sent a message, an email to, I don't know how many people, Vali, quite a few hundred.
Yeah, close to 1,000 now almost.
Yeah. So we sent a message to about 1,000 people every week, letting them know about this Thursday morning meeting, and 30 people show up. That's about normal. So the very fact that you are here today speaks volumes about you, about the journey you are on, and about your attitude, and the fact that you are willing to invest 30 minutes of your time in yourself. So you should start by giving yourself a big thank you and a well done for just being here. You are here, most are not. You are here, most are not. So already you are separating yourself from the crowd. So well done to all of you.